This is day 5 and the very first stage of the day has already been flagged off. Now with the dramatic exit of Team Thunderbolt yesterday, the competition is wide open again. Considering we have only 2 days to go, one will not expect the Raiders to take it easy. Instead, they shall be pelting their way up the leaderboard. What does that mean? That means we are in for some intense rally action in one of the most stunning locations mankind has ever seen. Day 5 of the raid began at Pang, taking a 45-kilometer transport to Debring. From Debring, it was a new route to the Yarla Pass and down to Dart. The second stage of the day was a redux from Dart to Debring. And from there, it was a transport over the mighty Tanglangla Pass, ending in Leh.
There is hope.
The Raiders woke up on day 5 to see everything under a sheet of snow. The world, as far as the eye could see, had turned white. The stages on day 5 were being run over new routes, and at first look they seemed like they were going to be very fast. Terrain was loose mud and gravel for the most part, with dips and gradients all covered under the sheet of snow.
Day 5, was a brilliant run. Absolutely, lots of hazards, which, the road is extremely quick. That track is really quick, very smooth. But then it has a series of dips. It's got a series of culverts under construction which had diversions. So it was a bit of a challenge to lay the stage out well, and we ended up, I think, doing a good enough job.
The stage posed a navigational challenge as the wide expanse of the magnificent Moreh Plains, hidden under a sheet of snow, made the terrain quite featureless, and many strayed from the route. After the previous day's incidents, it didn't look like anyone would try antics. But with rally drivers on the fast track, one can never say.
Our state of views are nice. Let us not forget. There is hope.
नहीं हुआ काफ़ी डर्ट भी है इसमें और रफ भी है बहुत ज़्यादा रफ है.
It was beautiful. Just the first 4-5 kilometers were bad. Then in between there's a river crossing through stones. It was horrible. Then it was amazing. Just that roads and broken bridges we had to go off and come back. But it was amazing.
That was actually a virgin stage, actually a pure virgin stage into Moreh Plains. Every time we have Moreh Plains into the transport. The first time they tried to take people inside. It's a beautiful stage. Needs a little bit of more work and development. The road work is on. So there are a lot of triple cautions where if you don't take care, absolute stand still and negotiate, you will surely break your car. For navigator, difficult. Desert, it becomes, when for navigator it becomes a difficult call, then becomes a desert stage because there's so many paths traversing, going into an entrant, coming out of the river.
In the time that it took to finish the first stage and restart the second one, the snow had melted away, leaving things more in perspective. The sudden dips would be less sudden for the drivers the second time around, and their cars would come out much faster.
The Debring stage was basically more into navigational aspect because it had a lot of areas where you couldn't, go and get lost. And in fact, the GPS did a fantastic, plus the driver, plus the navigator, sorry. And there are a couple of waypoints that you had to miss out. So, there are 2 roads running parallel. So each road basically, one road was basically all rocky and one was all dust. If you go onto the rocky road, you lose pace because you don't get traction. And when you go onto the dust, you have dips. You basically had to make a choice between both the roads and where maximum speed you can catch up.
Suresh Rana was first out of the stage. Right behind him was Amanpreet Ahluwalia, and trudging along on a supercharged engine in third place came Lieutenant Colonel Shakti Bajaj. From there, it was over Tanglangla Pass into Leh to prepare for the final ordeal, the one last long haul. The final day of the raid was to run a single competitive from Sakti just outside of Leh over the beautiful Warela Pass along the Shok River to end in Khalsa. And from there, it was a transport over Khardungla Pass, the highest motorable road in the world, to end the Raid the Himalaya 2012 in Leh. We left just before the break of dawn to climb up the Khardungla Pass and reach the end of the stage from the opposite side. There was a warning out that it had been snowing throughout the night and there was snow in the higher mountain reaches. We kept moving and crossed South Polu. And 7 kilometers before Khardungla Pass, we found that we could not go any further. It's 5 a.m. in the morning and we're only a few kilometers shy of the Khardungla top. If you can see around me, we've been hit by a snowstorm and we've got 2 feet plus of snow on the top and there's black ice all around. As it stands right now, the 6th leg of Raid the Himalaya 2012 stands cancelled. All we need to do now, as a priority now, is get downstairs safe and fine. The final leg of Raid 2012 was snowed out. Mother Nature had its say. And even though the rally cars would have made it through with snow chains and skilled driving, the officials decided against it.
This morning when we set out at 4, the first team went out at 3:30 as leading the 4 o'clock convoy. 10 kilometers short of Warila, we were into snow and ice, so it didn't take us long to, take a call and say we have to nix the stage.
We still could have run the event, but I think on safety grounds, as being a safety delegate, I had to take that call because of the ambulances were also going to, if we had some incident, the ambulances would have also struggled since all of them were two-wheel drive ambulances.
Unfortunate, any stage getting cancelled is not welcome for the competitors because we prepared the car really well in the last night and we were totally on for the stage. 89 kilometer section we thought we could make some time because any stages you have to fight it out, So we thought we'll make 5-6 minutes on the guy ahead. But invariably what is the will of God has to happen.
And so the results of the raid were as they stood at the end of leg 5. Team Maruti's Grand Vitara in the hands of Suresh Rana had won. It was Rana's 8th raid victory and well deserved.
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है और मुझे लगता है कि ये मेरी जो सबसे बेस्ट विक्ट्री है क्योंकि XUV 500 भी अच्छी गाड़ी है, अगर लास्ट तक भी चलते तो मज़ा आता है। पर मैं इस बार काफ़ी अच्छी विक्ट्री इसलिए बोलता हूँ कि मैं पहली बार ग्रैंड विटारा चला रहा था और 1 घंटे पहले मैंने गाड़ी को हैंडलिंग सीखी, एक दो घंटे पहले मैंने हैंडलिंग सीखी इस गाड़ी की। तो प्रेशर इतना ज़्यादा था कि लोग सोचते थे कि शायद इस बार कुछ भी हो सकता है, गलत भी हो सकता है।
Amanpreet Waluwalia in his Gypsy had come second.
Well, it feels fantastic because I've been coming for raid since 2003 and I've been doing really well in a couple of years, but couldn't make onto the podium. So I did come 5th overall in 2010. I lost out in 2011. I was running overall 3rd. I broke down in Ramdam. So it is a great feeling to be back on the podium, and this is a big event, and to win this event is a big achievement for us.
Army Motorsports Superchargers had done their job and had taken Lieutenant Colonel Shakti Bajaj to a podium finish.
It's a usual feeling, It's like a vacuum. Tomorrow what you have to do, We've been doing things so intensively for the last 6-7 days. So tomorrow we have to really ask ourselves what's there now,
A new SUV had taken the cake at Raid 2012. But there was no denying that the old faithful Gypsy had once again proved its mettle and passed the test of the raid with flying colours.
At the very onset, when you see these flashy, heavy-duty components, all technology and lot of inputs, flashy service team, you do get psyched up. But as the event progresses, you realize that your old warhorse still stands very good, Gypsy has stood the test of time, at least in events like Raid the Himalaya. It's a mountain car. The power-to-weight ratio and the suspension is very stiff, but it lasts. Whereas XUVs and all might be very modern cars. Okay, but they still have to go into a lot of R&D.
It's a good sign that teams are coming in. At the same time, as you would recollect, I had spoken about the standardization of safety equipments. The costs are so high that we are going to lose the watershed, the watershed of the amateurs. Yeah. That's certainly going to shrink because the cost, imagine if you would invest 5 lakhs for a vehicle or more rather, 6 for a vehicle and 5 for the safety equipment alone and then participate. A lot of money needed, so that's going to be a bit of a dampener. So who can afford it comes the question. The teams can. So, it's another way that coming of the teams into the sport in this big way will prevent the depletion of amateurs going out, which is what our perception is. Let's see what time brings.
The Raid Day Himalaya 2012 came to a close. Out of the 76 that took a start on day one, only a handful made it across. Most had been left behind as the raid stole. All of them had been humbled. And the raid had proved once again, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger.